are moving on.
Let's move on.
I want to hear this.
No. Let's move on.
Secret Batgirl funeral screenings hit the Warner Brothers lot. That is right. Funeral screenings, ladies and gentlemen. That is the term du jour
I love
today.
it.
Batgirl won't be flying onto HBO Max screens, but a select group of insiders. It's a group, and you're not in it.
It's the same group that gives all of those anonymous quotes to like TMZ.
A source close to the studio.
An inside source.
But a select group of insiders is getting to see the film during a secret screening on the Warner Brothers lot this week. Multiple sources tell The Hollywood Reporter that they said that they're for people who worked on the movie, both cast and crew, as well as representatives and executives. The only thing worse would be inviting the consultant class.
They probably invited them.
On August 2nd, Batgirl became the most talked about film in the world when news broke that Warner Brothers did the right thing and canceled. No, that they didn't put that in there. I'm editorializing again. I'm kidding. Batgirl was deep in post-production when Warner Brothers canceled the project. They saved like a gazillion dollars. They saved like 25 to 30 million on this movie. And basically the idea, as I explained yesterday, is like the movie cost 90 million. So if you take 90 million times 1.5, which is how you figure out, for the most part, that's the formula to figure out marketing budgets. You treat that number as an already expended cost because you're not doing it without it. They didn't just save 45 million. They also made back 25 to 30 million. And now one of the most important things in this article that I thought was really funny is like they hate this thing so much that to get the tax write-off back faster, they're going to destroy the footage. And I would love...
No, it's not confirmed.
No.
Did they say that?
A source close to... Yeah, they said insiders said, okay? But I love the idea... Like in a digital age where you could never actually prove that was what you did, that you actually destroyed all of it. Yeah. I like the idea of them like taking a camera and recording them like burning the hard drives to slag, like just to nothing. Yeah.
And we promise.
Yeah, and we promise that there's no copies anywhere.
Wink,
like
wink.
I guess they have to show that to the IRS.
Yeah, because they're saying that they could
like
get
shaky camcorder video of
on a phone
physically destroying the last hard drive.
So the funny part about that is when you're getting these like tax write-off, it's not a write-off, it's a write-down. When you get the write-down back, you get like a percentage right away, and then the rest comes out over a period of years. But they're like,
they want it all at once. So they're like, oh, it's okay. Like we'll just destroy all of it. It doesn't matter. But you can't really prove that no one has access to it because it would be so easy, especially with these like funeral screenings, for people to just sneak footage of it.
Right. I
and leak it
guarantee
later
someone's
on.
got footage from the funeral screening.
So it says, generally a studio will not get the full tax rate down immediately on a money-losing project, but rather will get a certain percentage right away and the rest over a period of years. It is unclear how much the project might make or lose over its lifetime after cable and other platforms. Several sources suggested that Warner Brothers might take the drastic move of actually destroying its Batgirl footage to demonstrate to the IRS that there will never be any revenue from this project. I mean, they're going to make money off of marketing the next project is better than Batgirl. Like that would be funny if they're like, at least if the next like Shazam 2, at least it's not Batgirl.
I think that this is the ultimate confirmation that it did have to do with the quality of the film and the acting, even though they claimed otherwise. I'd probably to save some people's feelings.
Yeah. Well, they fired Shia LaBeouf over scheduling conflicts. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Clearly, it's part of the industry.
It's all just about the appearances.
My favorite was like now COVID was also a great way to get people out of like contracts and stuff. Now they're like, oh, he's been a creep and he's hurting people on set. We'll just blame COVID because he's too powerful. We can't get him in trouble. So, is this one? You think it was to do with quality? I
think maybe that wasn't the only factor, but them claiming that it wasn't a factor
is
at all
disingenuous.
Yeah, it's disingenuous.
I do believe that it is more financially motivated, less by quality and more by just the fact that Zaslav seems to have a very, very strict and specific plan with how he's laying out the next 10 years.
Were they really right to think that they had more money to make off of this tax write-down than off of releasing it to streaming?
Well, how would they make the money? I mean, I guess you could make money through merchandising. I don't know who's buying Batgirl merchandise. You could make money through selling the rights off
to cult fan base.
You
could
Olivia
use
Wilde.
theoretically. Yeah, you could make the money back by selling the streaming rights to other platforms. I know for a fact you can. I shouldn't say for a fact. I know that you can watch the Nolan trilogy, or at least you were very recently able to watch the Nolan trilogy on Netflix. Even though theoretically you would assume that it would only be available on HBO Max because it's owned by Warner Brothers.
Right.
So that makes more sense.
Yeah.
So there's money to be made. Are they going to make back the $45 million that they were going to spend on advertising? I don't know.
Maybe it's quality, and maybe it's he's also like, I'm trying to regain trust in this brand, and like this is going to look so bad because like how do you define quality? For us, even the three of us would see quality differently probably, but and then it's how do we see quality? How do we define it against the people who worked on this movie who loved it? And then Zaslav, how do you say this guy's name?
David Zaslav.
Like what is he defined
it also
as quality?
It speaks to the precedent of what they're trying to create, right? So I believe that if this had been a TV show that was being made, they would have left it. Because they seem to have less of a problem with, maybe this works better with a smaller budget when it's 8 episodes than as a big movie that gets no return on its investment right away. So if they had made this into a show, I mean, they left the Blue Beetle movie alone. As far as I know, that one's still coming out. So that's an L against the people who say that this has to do with diversity, because that's not the case, because the Blue Beetle movie will absolutely be like that. It goes against the narrative there. Plus, they canceled a lot of other projects. I mean, I've been like, at one point I tried to source I was going to do a topic like all the cuts that they've made. It was like 30 tabs, like of all like between projects, executives. They just laid off a bunch of people in like the Netherlands and Denmark on their marketing and production teams over there. So it has nothing to do with Zaslav being anti-diversity.
Yeah, he got rid of J.J. Abrams.
He got rid of Abrams. He got rid of the Abrams Batman Cape Crusader cartoon. Like, it's got nothing to do with that. The dude's he's a numbers dude.
I find it interesting to see how he's working, like just what he's shuffling
give a
around,
crap
cutting
about-
stuff. Like I'm very intrigued and I want to see what this is all gonna come to.
He spent $100 million marketing not George R. R. Martin. He spent $100 million marketing the House of the Dragon, because he knows that will make money. Because it had 10 million viewers offset, which is only 20 to 30% of what the total viewers for that episode would be. Still not as good as actual Game of Thrones, but it's going to make its money back.
Yeah,
right?
To be fair to him, this Batgirl went into production before he was in charge.
Yes.
So he doesn't want to be credited with something he doesn't believe in that does badly.
That's what he talks about in the things like, we're only going to put out stuff that we're 100% behind.
Yeah, and that means that he saw it at a test screening, and I don't think he liked what he saw.
And we also have this that they
to be totally he should be totally honest and say like his real reason.
He walked it right outside and shot it, and then showed the IRS.
He's like,
well, he really hit it in the back of the head with a shovel.
True.
He ran it over with one of the Batmobiles they have on the set.
It said "Flam."
I found comparisons to Snyder's Justice League
not even
funny
close.
Because just think about the fanfare behind that and people wanting the cut of that movie so badly.
Years of people begging for it.
Yeah.
There would never be anything. Batgirl's almost memory hold already.
Yeah.
There's no comparison.
So I do think that there is money to be made in the future by making a documentary about it getting canceled and all of the hoopla behind I want like an office style thing where a camera creeps in as they're like smashing the hard drives with sledgehammers that they take from a prop set.
There's
way more interesting.
There's also been a lot of talk about things being taken off of streaming services because of the Amazing World of Gumball movie. It was from Cartoon Network. It was gonna go on Amazon Prime, I believe.
Yeah.
And then they rejected it.
And HBO Max has been ruthless with their cutting animation.
They're gonna like
and stuff
shop
like
it around other streaming services, but people started saying that. Thank you. Is that number 3 today?
3.
Thank you.
Soon, guys. Me and Chris have been working it out. We may have like a crisis party counter on the screen.
Oh,
Ooh.
nice.
Yep, we're working
nice. But yeah, people were saying that this was an example of creators of like animated shows and movies not being given a chance for their ideas to be marketable, because they feel they're getting blamed for the failure of another department. Basically, that they should only be responsible for making the best quality product, the best quality story and animations, and that the department required for monetizing that is the one that's failing.
The marketing departments.
Yeah, and that's why they want reboots, sequels, etc. And then the creators of new things are getting blamed for the failures when they're not even being marketed. There's like
nobody
zero marketing budget for new things.
We talked about that with the gay it's like the lesbian vampire show, and the creators they started the campaign advertisement by talking about how it was lesbian vampires, but then they never really did anything else beyond that. I'm like, well, when they market yourself as like, what they've done is they've turned like anything with modern identity politics into it. The marketing never gets past the elevator pitch stage, where it's like Rambo, but with like gay people and this and that, like, which is like fine, make your movie, but like then you have to market it and make it more than that. It can't just be that. But the marketing departments never get past there. There's nobody failing Hollywood right now more than really bad marketing departments and really, really bad HR departments. They've also moved James Wan's, they moved Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom from March 17th, 2023 to Christmas Day, 2023. I'm
disappointed as a dedicated Amber Heard stan.
And then they moved Shazam! Fury of the Gods into the place of where Aquaman was before.
So now Aquaman is Christmas.
Yes.
Christmas next year.
Yes. Like a movie about being in the ocean is at Christmas. Yes.
How does that make any
I believe
sense?
The last one came out at in like November or whatever. It's fine. It's not like I'm going to the movie and I'm supposed to like imagine myself in the ocean. No.
Well, yeah, but there is something to be said for like, horror films are released around Halloween and it should make some sense.
But there's also with Disney taking up so many slots, there's only so many you can do without being in direct conflict with another project. Yeah. One of the reasons they moved Shazam was because Avatar 2 was taking up all the IMAX screens at that time. Like they won't be able to get showings at the end, and they want to be able to show their movie in IMAX. So this is, if anything's hurting Warner Brothers worse than like all the other stuff's being talked about, it's like every movie has gone through like 9 date changes, where it's like I would like to see somebody do a really funny skit where they're like really excited for a movie and they mark it on their calendar, and they have to keep buying new calendars because they keep moving it and they keep having to.
If they move Joker, I'm gonna flip a table because it's already like. It's in another presidential administration.
I bet you the Joker doesn't put his cart back either.
The Joker? Oh yeah, for sure.
Joker leaves his cart. The Joker actually like probably takes the carts out of the corral and puts them in places somewhere else.
See, I'm just following his ethic, okay?
It makes everything better.
I'm sort of like Joker from the movie Joker.
That's you. You could be like Lady Gaga in the sequel.
I don't know if I believe in it yet.
With blonde hair, I mean, I guess you could be like Lady Gaga in the fact that you're both like.
But she's not going to be Harley Quinn.
I have seen conflicting reports that now say she is playing that role. So I don't know.
What else could she do?
Either way, it will be interesting to say. I'm more excited personally about Shazam! Fury of the Gods than I am about the other two. Shazam is the only one of like.
You liked that trailer,
and I love the first one. I love the first Shazam movie. It's gloriously inoffensive and family-friendly fun.
It didn't make a lot of money, right? It was only in like the 350 range.
That's fine. It's not like Zachary Levi is not the world's biggest action star. He was great in Chuck. Chuck is a.
Oh, that's right. That is that guy. I haven't seen Shazam yet.
Yep. The first Shazam is very, very good. It's like there's like a tier now, right? Like with Marvel, not every movie is going to be the biggest blockbuster. It's not going to be Spider-Man. Eternals and Shang-Chi are going to make less than that, and so you can expect Shazam is not going to make the same amount of money that a Batman or a Superman movie would make. It's still going to make a decent amount, but it won't make that level of money. It will be interesting to see what Black Adam does, given that it's got The Rock's star power attached to it. Though, to be fair, I don't remember the last time The Rock actually made a good movie. If I'm being completely
The Rock just plays
The Rock.
The Rock.
The Rock.
Usually, and this is going to be a new thing to see from him. People are kind of cringing at The Rock's posts, like hyping up for.
We need to get
Black
Marvel and
Adam.
DC together. Like, oh god.
Oh man.
Tell me you've never read comic books without telling me you've never read.
Ay, ay, ay.
I'm picturing when he said that he should have been playing Marvel vs. Capcom on his like Super Nintendo. I'm fairly interested in the Rock ones. I'm sick of like the over the top bleakness of that type of character.
It doesn't look like a fun movie to
doesn't.
watch, and
It's got Sarah Shahi in it,
the attempts at jokes that I saw from the trailer were not funny.
All superhero movies are like required to involve humor that's legitimately I really feel like they like I talk a lot about how the idea is like it's very rare to actually meet people that are funny. Like most people can be, you shoot for mildly amusing. If you're funny and it's not like a meme that you're like, most people if they're funny they're reading a meme somebody created or something like that. Very few people are legitimately knee slappingly funny. But with superhero movies it's like they purposely hire people that are bad at like they know they're not funny and they're like, you want to come write jokes for our movie? Because they need it to be as lowbrow as possible.
But
it has to sound like Joss
if you want
Whedon
it
humor.
to be dark and serious in its tone, then you don't need to insert that at all.
They need to find like a middle ground.
I thought Venom has some good humor in it.
Yeah.
The first one. I didn't see the second one, but I really enjoyed the first one. It was really twisted.
Yes.
Dark. Did you see it?
No.
Venom was good.
Yeah, I liked
the sequel was meh.
Yeah. It's
The
too
sequel's
bad.
meh. I like Tom Hardy though.
I love.
so,
Yeah.
so.
With Black
so-
Adam, it almost seemed like they were going for like slapstick
Right.
type of humor when he's literally killing people.
Isn't that
It's
hilarious?
Just, it's just odd.
But
It's
I've been
not-
in a theater a lot where it's that you see that kind of humor and I'm not laughing, but the whole audience is laughing.
Yep.
Because it's just like people have
makes you
different
feel
definitions.
crazy, doesn't it?
Well, every day does. And
Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.